Yes, sir, it is ringing. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Welcome to Reading with Shilo. Back for the last chapter of Miss Shahrazad Ali's book, The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. With chapter 12. Chapter 12 will be leadership, and it's a pretty long chapter, so we're going to end up doing it in a couple of parts. Right now, we're going to do part one. So, yeah, if you don't know who she is, go check out Miss Shahrazad Ali, author of at least 6 books. Author of at least 6 books. We're going to get into the next one. The next edition. The next edition of Reading with Shilo. Now look, I don't mind y'all being here. I want y'all here. But y'all gonna have to be quiet while Daddy reads, all right? And you're gonna need a towel to wipe your face. Wipe all them crumbs off your face. All right, my bad. Hope everybody's doing good. Let's go. Leadership. A Day of Atonement. October 16, 1995. Are you keeping your promise? I pledge from this day forward, I will strive to love my brother as I love myself. I, from this day forward, will strive to prove myself spiritually, morally, mentally, socially, politically, and economically for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. I pledge that I will strive to build business, build houses, build hospitals, build factories, and enter into international trade for the good of myself, my family, and my people. I pledge that from this day forward, I will never raise my hand with a knife or a gun to beat, cut, or shoot any member of my family, any human being except in self-defense. I pledge this day forward, I will never abuse my wife by striking her, disrespecting her, for she is the mother of my children and producer of my future. I pledge that from this day forward, I will never engage in the abuse of children, little boys or little girls for sexual gratification. For I will let them grow in peace to be strong men and women for the future of our people. I will never again use the B word to describe any female, but particularly my own Black sisters. I pledge from this day forward that I will not poison my body with drugs or that which a solemn litany of promises to heal Black America, led by Minister Louis Farrakhan during his address to the Million Man March. 1995, that was that long ago. Chapter 12, leadership. So all this was at the beginning of leadership. We're going to see leadership. Hey, move, get up. Yes, sir. Get out the way. Hey, you can sit up here. I don't mind. If you want to sit up here with me, you can come sit up here with me. All right, let's read. Leadership. That's right. In the Black community, leadership in the Black community has become blurry. As African Americans have slumped into political empathy, leaders find it increasingly burdensome to capture the hearts and minds of the people. Dissatisfaction with the government is rampant, and any Black man who aspires to a pontificated point of leadership by embracing variations of old political themes finds his path arduous and thorn-ridden. It has been many years since a Black man leader has emerged from a new, refreshing political concept that appeals to the current nature of African Americans. Blacks have lost faith in the politicians' ability to solve their problems, and many are disappointed because they spent the wonder years of their careers pursuing and believing that the political system was the key to the door of every room of success they desired to enter. Ironically, when these doors are finally pried open, the black man finds other barriers more dense and equally immovable. While the black man was busy marching, desegregating lunch counters, and petitioning for integration, other nationalities were setting up economic bases to provide for their futures. Futures. Provide for their futures. Futures. There you go. Futures. You are the future. Yes, you're the future.
You are the future.
That's right. Man is the future. Y'all are the future. Y'all are the, yes, right. You are the future too. While the black man was busy marching, desegregating lunch counters, and petitioning, mocked or ignored. As a consequence, no major economic agenda was adapted to the main thrust of the people. Splintered, poorly financed, special interest groups of black men have periodically altered their agendas when they found they could not be successful taking hardline positions. Hold on, no, we got a lot of pages to go. Ooh. The rain coming down. Hold on.
So that rain the rain coming down for us.
On us. The rain is coming down on us.
Rain coming down on us?
Yes, sir. On us. Ever since the early 1800s, black men have come forth with various agendas ever since the early 1800s. Black men have come forth with various agendas they devise as a social. Hey, come on. Yes, sir. That is reading. Here. This is what we're gonna do. You're gonna sit on this side. Okay. Have come forth with various agendas they devise as a solution to the complicated problems of blacks, each one systematically rejected, mocked, or ignored. As a consequence, no major economic agenda was adapted or taking hardline positions unvalidated by mass agreement of the people. The black man has always experienced trying to rouse the black community into positive supportive action on any plan. On any plan. Any plan. There you go. This unit and be discarded before their effects could be measured. He warpedly accepts the white man to give him a job and other benefits while he continues to maintain his long-standing feud with the same benefactor. His absolute dependency on the group he claims to hate makes no sense at all. He even circulates documents about his dissatisfaction in European-owned newspapers and magazines. A few black-owned publications out that claim to cater to the black man are of little value for leadership development or for teaching respect or brotherhood to black men. One of them, unwholesomely, hey, shalom, my friend, unwholesomely caters to the low sensual desires of black men by offering nude pictures of questionable black females in a variety of contortions and activities. Activities? Get it. Hurry up. Get it. Go get it. Pick it up. Hurry up. Pick it up. You got it? All right. You made me lose my spot. Throw it in the trash then. Throw it in the trash. If it's dirty, throw it in the trash.
I missed it.
Well, get down there and get it since you missed it. unwholesomely caters to the low sensual desires of black men by offering nude pictures of questionable black females in a variety of contortions and activities. Get it and put it in the trash, DJ. Activities. It is assumed that if white men have Playboy displaying pictures of naked white women, that certainly the black man just as interested in porno stimulation as he must have his own version of the same kind of filth. They are capitalizing on the black man's perverted, disrespectful view of the black womanhood. He is proud to have his black sisters uncovering their bodies publicly, and he's proud that she's so fine and would not allow another black man to insult black women and shame elders and mislead small children by seeking a market to prostitute the bodies of potential black mothers. He should not be willing to sell his woman's respect for employment and money. The other slick magazine for black men represents little of the kind of information black men should receive in the mail each month. Can I help you? Not bad. Let me get situated.
What did you say?
I'm trying to get situated, son.
Maybe. What did you say?
I'm trying to get situated. That's what I see. I'm trying to get situated is what I see.
Will you say? Will you say, Daddy?
They contain the latest fashions, entertainment. Black.
Daddy, look that. What's that sound?
That sound like thunder. With times as tight as they are now, every black-owned publication should be devoted to distributing advice on how to handle hard times, realistically, because black men are more affected by unemployment disproportionately than any other nationality in America. But these publications attempt to carry on with their frivolous topics as if all black men are enjoying sheer economic prosperity. How about printing some information suggesting jobs or work an unemployed black man can do to make some money? In place of this life-saving section are countless articles about how to prepare the perfect resume, what to wear to work, how to prepare the perfect resume. Well, I've heard that so much. What to wear to work and how to break through the glass ceiling in middle management. Another magazine advertises black men and black women who are interested in coupling with whites, or in some cases, homosexuals. They have classified columns advocating every kind of degenerate sexual decadence imaginable. And they have a healthy market they service to promote continued moral decay among black men and black women. All of the aforementioned brings me to the thought of how they say that, how they go, hard times make strong men and strong men make, I forget how it goes all the way, but the stronger men, the people after the strong men will be weaker than the stronger men, and the people after them are going to be even weaker, and then it'll be like 2 or 3 generations before the strong men come back up because of what the strong men have done first. But anyway, I'll try to remember to say it. It is difficult to pick out any unique or revolutionary ideas among them when young corporate or political America. Each one of them is willing to stand on the neck of their brothers to advance their position and are opting for color blindness and neutrality. Is this representative of the kind of leadership teams delegated to inherit the black world of tomorrow? Are they going to use the same obsolete tactics of their fathers and grandfathers? And if so, how do they rationalize it? More questions. Something must be done about the slate dark denseness pervading the brains of the black man that forbids him from thinking clearly. Something must be done about the slate dark denseness pervading the brains of the black man that forbids him from thinking clearly. Pervading. Let's see what pervading means. Pervading. Hey. Get up off the floor and sit down. You're good. You're good. Sit down. That's the thunder. Thunder. The thunder. Thunder. No. Thunder. 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 P. Let's see. Pervading. 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 Pervading.
You say, Daddy?
I said pervading. We're looking for the word pervading.
You say?
Pervading. There we go. We're looking for pervade. I found it. Pervading. You gotta look at the dictionary to see what the word means. Something must be done about the slate dark denseness spreading through every part, spreading throughout into every part of the brains of black men that forbids him from thinking clearly, or pervading the brains of the black man that. Get your butt up. Sit yourself down. You shouldn't have to talk like this. What I tell you to do? Get your butt up there with your brother. Hurry up. All right. Now keep yourself calm and listen. All right. All right. That's all you got to do. All right. Something must be done about the slate dark denseness pervading the brains of the black man that forbids him from thinking clearly. It is as if his skull is frozen, brain dead. So much of his will has been emasculated. He is incapable of choosing right over wrong. The black man's desperation for leadership has caused him to be overly impressed with emotional-filled, rugged-sounding dialogue and outrageous platform suggestions of so-called politicians. The black man's leaders have come from the church, politics, law, and education. Every so often, the self-made black man rises to the podium, but unless he presents visible proof of his ability to get more entitlements and credentialed, the credentialed educated class will not recognize him. And uneducated, having been duped into believing that only the college-trained black is qualified to lead, are also prone to dismiss his findings. This chapter will discuss the doctrines and platforms of the top 10 black men who rose to prominence in leadership authority. An attempt will be made to explain their position as briefly as possible. Other black men who were or continue to aspire as wannabe leaders will also be mentioned, as they too are a part of the history. All of the black men listed were or instrumental in either guiding the black men to success and respectability, or misleading them into unemployment, violence, and self-hatred. To be clear, each black man is responsible for the result of what he chose and what he selected to reject. In other words, every black man has what he deserves. Unfortunately, his decisions impacted on his women, his children, and his future generations. However sparse the group, many black men in leadership positions over the past years were misrepresented, have misrepresented the needs of the people, and fostered inaccurate priorities. Every black man is a leader in his home. Every black man is a leader in his home. Shit, that's not believed today. Every black man is a leader in his home, his community, and nation. Every one of them. Every one of them. Whether or not he exercises the authority of his leadership is up to him. His ineffectiveness in the home is crystal clear by observing his offspring and women. And his incompetence in politics is proven by the inadequate temporary solutions he endorsed. It is the men in the African American community who have not only failed themselves, but forfeited their mothers, women, and children in the process. The 10 most popular and influential black men leaders in the chief positions over the African American nation during the past 175 years. That's a good bit. Let's see. Frederick Douglass, politician and orator from 1817 to 1895. Number 2. 1865, 1915. Marcus M. Garvey, organizer, nationalist. 1887 to 1940. It makes me wonder, did some of these, since these people was alive at the same time and doing the next one. Number 4, W.E. Du Bois, educator, politician, writer, 1868 to 1963. Well, number 5, Elijah Muhammad, religious messenger. 1908 to, religious messenger, 1897 to 1975. Number 6, Adam Clayton Powell Jr., politician, minister, 1908 to 1972. Number 7, Stokely Carmichael, organizer, civil rights activist, 1941. I guess he was still alive at the time when she wrote this. 1941 until. Number 8, Malcolm X, Muslim minister, orator, militant, 1925 to 1965. Number 9, Martin Luther King, civil rights activist, minister. A lot of ministers in here. 1929 to 1968. Number 10, Jesse Jackson, minister, politician, 1941 until. The purpose of studying leadership themes and politician positions of black men is to analyze their tactics, seek out their differences and similarities, and to trace the status of their ideas today. This analogy is not presented to dishonor their noble efforts, because each one tried in his own way to alleviate the social, economic, and religious problems blacks still suffer from today. But this is critical. This is a critical objective study of realistically dissecting their platform so that future black men leaders can benefit from potential remedies and avoid useless, time-consuming approaches already known to fail. There is no time left to expand pursuing goals with, I'm just starting, son. I'm just starting. All right, let me see how we can do this.
I don't know. No.
Okay, I'm only going to read for part one. Okay, she's going to go over the 10 I previously just named. Martin Luther King. Yeah, she's going to go over the 10 that I previously just named. So I'm going to only read the first three. I'm only going to read the first three. I'm going to stop at W.E.B. Du Bois. I mean W.E.W. W.E. Du Bois. Du Bois. We're going to stop at him for part one. We're going to stop at him. Yeah. But this is a critical objective study. A critical objective study of realistically dissecting their platform so that future Black men leaders can benefit from potential remedies and avoid useless, time-consuming approaches already known to fail. There is no time left to expand pursuing goals which historically have proven to be pointless. Every effort is made to present, give me this. Hey, don't come over here messing with my stuff, DJ. To present their basic doctrines in a concise assessment. These top 10 Black men leaders, their political theories, and resultant practicum will be judged by the following criteria on the conclusion sheet after each description of their teachings. The criteria for evaluation are: A, did he seek advancement through politics and the right to vote? B, did he think that social integration was the solution? C, did he believe in European religion of Christianity? D, did he design a life plan for self-sufficiency and self-defense? E, did he... We go down that list, most of them did. Most of them did. That's something to go through. Definitely a good criteria. At least good to start. A good one to start. So that means he was a white man. A white man in black skin. His father was a white man, but they had no relationship. Later, making his way to New York, he became involved in the anti-slavery crusade and quickly became a leader. That's the book, The Blackwoman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. After publishing his great speech, narrative, I might have to look that up because I've never read that. Narrative. After publishing his great speech, Narrative, his life was threatened and he escaped to England, where he lectured to pay on slavery and women's rights. Hey, look. Hey, sit yourself down and be quiet, or you can go play it. You're good. It's you, man. You need to sit down and be quiet, or you can go play in your room. All right, that's what I thought. My bad. After publishing his great speech, Narrative, his life was threatened and he escaped to England, where he lectured for pay on slavery and women's rights. He returned to America and brought his freedom and founded the North Star newspaper, later changed to Frederick Douglass paper, with a masthead that read, "Devoted to the rights of all mankind without distinction of color, class, or clime." Let's see what that word means. Clime. CLIME. I've never heard that. CLIME. Climb. M. CLIME. CLIME. Climb. 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 It says climate. Traveled to warmer. He had many friends, black and white, in England and America. Frederick Douglass thought that slavery was not abolished until the black man had the ballot. His anti-slavery affiliations kept him on the run from law enforcement agencies. His first wife was black. He met political activist John Brown, who he described as a white man who is in sympathy, which opened public accommodations and movies and helped to inspire the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. So this is the Constitution. Constitution of the United States with the Declaration of Independence. So he helped with the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th. Huh? Leave my dictionary alone. 13th, 14th, and 15th. The 13th. The 13th Amendment was ratified on December 6th of 1865. Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, wherefore the party should have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. 3 of superseded, 3 of the 12th Amendment, 5 on July 9th, 1868. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law that shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Section 2. Representatives shall be apportioned among the several states according to their respective numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state, excluding Indians not taxed. But when the right to vote at any election for the choice of electors for president and vice president of the United States, representatives in Congress, and executive and judicial offices of the state or the members of the legislature thereof, is denied to any of the male inhabitants in such state being 21 years of age and citizens of the United States, or in any way abridged, except for participation in rebellion or other crime. The basis of representation therein shall be reduced in the proportion which the number of male citizens shall bear to the whole number of male citizens 21 years age in such state. I have to go back to read that. Let's see. Section 2. Section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature, or as an executive or judicial office of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may by a vote of 2/3 of each house remove such disability. Section 4. The validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law, including debts incurred for payments of pension and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned, but neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in legislation, the provisions of this article. Amendment 15, Section 1. The right of citizens of the United States to vote or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous conditions of servitude. Section 2. The Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Constitution. Yeah, the Constitution. The Constitution. We do that. So those three, Frederick Douglass helped to inspire. Inspire. There you go. Inspire. Yeah. After working in legislature, being hired to work on foreign affairs and missions, or marshal and consul general in Haiti, and consul general in Haiti, he was weary and disappointed in the system. He often remembered the words of his white friend John Brown. Slaves had the right to gain their liberty in any way they could. He did not believe that moral suasion, 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 S-U-A. Where's the U's? S-U, S-U, S-T, S-U, S-U-A. Suasion. S-U-A, S-U-A, S-I-O-N. Yes, sir, I'm looking for a word. I'm looking up this word. I'm trying to see if it's in here, so I can see what it means. The letters, those are the letters. T-U-E-Z. as the letters, so we can help us find the letters that we're looking for. S-U-A. Yeah, my pen. My pen and pencil. Pen and pencil. Suasion. 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 To urge or persuade. The act of influencing or persuading. I guess it goes into.
That was both books. That was all both books.
No, leave the dictionary there. I might need it again. Leave the dictionary there. Suasion or persuasion would ever liberate the slave.
It's me today. My food.
Make a move. Yeah, come on. Necessary to get his freedom. Douglass was against violence, but began to consider that the only way slavery could be destroyed was by bloodshed. However, Douglass continued to apply written words, moral and political pressure to end bondage of the black man in America with violence. He was a powerful orator and drew huge crowds whenever he spoke. In May of 1865, Douglass made a famous speech to the American Anti-Slavery Society. He ended his speech by saying, "Slavery has been fruitful in giving itself names. It has been called the peculiar institution, the social system, and the impotent, as it was called by the General Conference of the Methodist Episcopal Church. It has been called by a great many names, and it will call itself by yet another name. And you and I and all of us had better wait and see what new form of this old master will assume. In what new skin this old snake will come forth." The 13th Amendment prohibited slavery. The 14th gave citizenship to anyone born in the United States, and the 15th guaranteed the right to vote. In 1883, the U.S. Supreme Court canceled the Civil Rights Act of 1875 and declared that exclusion of certain races from public accommodations was not against the Constitution of the United States. This ruling disappointed Douglass greatly and made way for Jim Crow segregation and informal laws and attacks against Negroes. Still, he probed through the system seeking job assignments or positions which he believed would aid him in creating laws through the government to ensure civil rights and protection by the courts for his brethren. Amen. You know, I really feel like you can't make laws that really will effectively help or defend you under laws that have been effectively harming and hindering you in many cases for so long. You just have to separate. Segregation totally. A total new set of laws for us, and they can keep the laws for them. Seems like what will work. And then, once we've been left alone long enough for those laws to perpetuate in generation after generation, then we could come to the table and say, this is how we want to do it. That's my thing. Right? Still, he probed. Still, he probed through the system seeking job assignments or positions, which he believed would aid him in creating laws through the government to ensure civil rights and protection by the courts for his brethren. After his first wife died and his children were grown, he met a white woman in Washington while working at one of his government jobs. I bet. She was considerably younger than him and quit her job to follow him. After Douglas died, he left property to his children in New York and in Washington, in the Washington area. She attempted to turn the home into a national shrine to honor Douglas. That rain coming down. To honor Douglas's work, but encountered bitter legal battles from his children who did not believe that she should get anything out of the Douglas estate. Negro writers and wrote articles in support of the white wife and expressed their outrage that she and Douglas were close friends with Susan B. Anthony for years during his campaign for white women to have rights in society. Conclusion. Mr. Douglas believed in intermingling, that he could use the ballot to change his position in American society. He constantly went before white politicians to plead for civil and social opportunities for Negroes. He staunchly believed in the validity of the Constitution and believed it to contain the foundation from which change could be enforced. He was proud to be invited and involved in American politics. Douglas had no plan for the Negro to use to help himself economically. He thought that if the Negro have congressional representation and legislative authority. He kept his slave master's name and was not concerned with linking himself to in any way to the Negro's African past or traditions. He made no mention of holidays or celebrations to retain the Negro heritage and attached no special meaning to being black other than it was a negative stigma and beautiful facial features. His speeches, especially his major narrative, excuse me, are recorded in many of his 4 children. He was an impressive, strong, and diligent black man leader who retired with his great memory being his failure to convince whites that the Negro deserved full citizenship rights in America. The Caucasian woman he married preserved his papers, souvenirs, and documents for study by historians. His children did not approve of his marriage to the white woman. Despite Douglas' tedious pleas for civil rights for blacks, the black man today is still negotiating for a civil rights act from the American government. Every few years, the bill comes up for discussion. Not really, even though I would need to read them again. In some of these things, it's like you have to have a degree in law to understand what's being written. Each new president is confronted with the sensitive task of deciding whether or not being forced to accommodate blacks. He did not include the Indians in public, privately owned places is constitutional. I can't wait till somebody say no. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. I would like to see to find that in 1885, when questioned in the South about his position on Negro white affairs, that Lincoln proudly alluded, "I am not, nor ever have been, in favor of bringing about in any way the social and political equality of the white and black races. I am not, nor ever have been in favor of making voters or juries of Negroes, nor of qualifying them to hold office, nor to intermarry with white people. And I will say, in addition to this that there is a physical difference between the white and black races, which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together on terms of social and political equality. I agree. Of superior and inferior. Blacks as if they were superior and the whites were inferior, that we'd be better off. The whole state, the whole United States would be better off. Black people tend not to do other people the way they do, as much as any other man, am in favor of having the superior position assigned to the white race. This clip is from the Lincoln-Douglas debate of 1885. When in the North, Lincoln, as politicians do, adjusted his views for his audience and held fast to the Declaration of Independence, which viewed all men as equal. For many years, African American children were taught that Lincoln freed the slaves and that he felt special compassion for their condition.